Welcome back. Game number 2 of this doubleheader here on this terrific Wednesday here on BFA Sports. It's time for Buccaneer baseball. So it was quite the pitching duel in game number 1 today. Buccaneers walk away with a 2-1 complete game victory for pitcher Joe Hamill. And for game 2, the ball will go to Caden Dale to be on the hill, and he will face this lineup for the Dukes of Rowan College, South Jersey, Cumberland in Region 19 action. It'll be second baseman Christian Rinnick. Joe Jasinski is at short. Ben Mayers, the designated hitter. Connor Bain is in center. David Apollonia, the Egg Harbor Township alum, is in left. Andre Boyer of Oakcrest is in right. Brian Sanders at first. Jack Peacock of St. Augustine at third. And Ethan Evans is the battery mate for the starting pitcher, which will be Libiero. We'll talk about him when the Buccaneers come to bat. But first pitch, game number 2 of the doubleheader, is in for a called strike. Again, this is the rubber match. Called strike now 0-2. The Dukes had taken game number 1 yesterday in Vineland. Buccaneers take game number 2 for the top half of this doubleheader, and now game 3. So 1-2 to Christian Rinnick. Rinnick was 0 for 3 in game number 1. Swing and a miss. He gets him. Start the game with a strikeout for Caden Dale. Joe Jasinski hit the ball quite well in the first game. Came up with a clutch double late. He's batting in the 2-hole for game number 2 today. There's a well-hit ball through the left side for a base knock. So Jasinski having a good day with the bat. Gets the Dukes in business. So Ben Mayers goes from the outfield to the designated hitter role here. Game 2. First pitch misses down and out of the zone. A little bit of fog rolls in late again. If you're here for game number 1, you can understand what we were referring to, as there were kind of spots earlier on. Fog clouds were kind of thick, but now we can just about see beyond the bay here at Bader Field. Ball's fouled off. Play. Familiar face behind the plate. Home plate umpire Matt Lawler was on the bases in game 1. He's behind the dish in game 2. He must think we're stalking him, as he was also the home plate umpire yesterday for our Egg Harbor Township Ocean City High School game on the BFA live stream. That ball is skied high. It's going to go to shortstop. Louis Sari gathers and squeezes. 2 outs as the cleanup hitter, center fielder Christian Bain, try to keep momentum going. Started by Jasinski with a nice base knock earlier in the frame. Chopper right back to the pitcher, Dale. PFP, got to field your position, and he does it cleanly. So 3 outs, 1 hit, 1 runner left on, but no runs to speak of. The Buccaneers ready for battle. They'll get their first crack at the starting pitcher of the Dukes, Libiero, coming up next on BFA. Starting pitcher for the Dukes of Cumberland. He's wearing number 22. And that is John Liberio. So Liberio will face the Buccaneer offense. Looks very familiar if you tuned in for game number 1. It's exactly the same. Baldino leads off. Kevin Foreman bats second. Louis Sari, Gabe Selinsky is in the cleanup spot. Eduardo Tanako is over at first. Trace Warner is in right. Javi Vega batting 7th is in left. Davey Suarez is in the hot corner batting 8th. And Ethan Corsi is the designated hitter. Hits were a bit of a premium in game number 1. The Buccaneers were able to come up with some timely hitting and showed some patience early on at the plate, pushing 1 run across on a bases loaded walk on 4 consecutive batters that reached on the ball. Pitch number 1 to Andrew Baldino is in for a ball. He launches one towards left field. It's going to be right at Apollonia, and he'll make the catch. Kevin Foreman. One for 3 thus far on the afternoon, in game number 1 anyway. Takes pitch number 1 for a called strike. Quickly 0-2, and this time different look for the Buccaneers as they face Liberio, the left-handed pitcher. Kind of pitching from that 3/4 stance. Swing and a miss. Struck him out, so the first 2 batters retired in order as Louis Sari comes to the plate. Of course, the Buccaneers staying with the same jerseys. Navy blue tops, white pants with the red lettering. White trim on the front. Called strike in for the Rowan College of South Jersey Cumberland Dukes. Sticking with the away gray. Navy blue lettering and gold trim. Sorry, evens the count at 1-1. It's funny, Louis Sari, quite the character as a youth player growing up. I can remember a pitch being thrown at him inside, and instead of moving out of the way, he decided to catch it with his one hand. Kind of threw the umpire for a bit of a loop. He had to be 8 or 9 years old. He's like, I'm not going to let it hit me. They're like, well, that's what you kind of have to do. Good family of baseball players there. Sorry, he's got an older brother, Louis. Another older brother, Jan. His dad heavily involved. His kids were growing up, coming through the Buna Little League, and of course, South Jersey Seminoles fame. Had the pleasure of actually coaching with Louis' father for a few seasons. He's one of our assistants. All right, that'll bring up Gabe Solinsky, starting behind the dish. Iron Man today. Caught 7 innings. Queued up to perhaps catch another 7 here in game 2. First pitch in from Liberio. It's in for a called strike. Quick check over to first. Defensively for the Dukes, bit of a different look. We'll get into that in a second. See Liberio, check the runner. In the outfield, left to right, it's Apollonia. Bain is in center. Andre Boyer is in right. Peacock is at third. Jasinski is at short. Rinnick is at second. Sanders is at first. And Ethan Evans is the starting catcher behind the dish. That ball misses up. Now 2-1. Ball is chopped foul and out of play. Now 2-2 count. Runner goes. Here comes the throw. That one's a bit high, and a stolen base for Louis Sari. Count moves 3-2 for Solinsky. That ball misses. It'll be ball 4 as he heads down to first base, and now 2 runners aboard for Atlantic Cape. Sorry, it's second. Solinsky is at first, and Eduardo Tinoco hits a hard ball right at Bain in center field, and that'll close out the inning. After some solid defense from the Cumberland Dukes. No runs, no hits, 2 runners left aboard, scoreless as we head to the second here on BFA Sports. Top of the second, Apollonia, Boyer, and Sanders due up for the Dukes. Strong start for the pitcher, Caden Dale. One strikeout in the first frame. On 11 pitches. That one is in for a called strike to start things off to David Apollonia. Ball fell back to the screen. That ball is hit high out to Kevin Foreman. He's able to get underneath of it. Man, how about Foreman's shades? Dude just looks the part of a legit center fielder. Why he's on a lot of recruiting boards right now. The right fielder, Andre Boyer, comes to bat here with one out, bottom of the second. That ball is skied high out to right field. Warner's going to get under it. It'll make the can of corn catch. 2 up, 2 down. Sanders takes pitch number 1 for a called ball. Swing and a bit of additional wind out here. Nasty breaking pitch. Caden Dale picking up tempo here. Tries to work the bottom part of the zone against Sanders. Sanders now. Seesaw battle as he moves ahead 2-1 in the count. Two and two. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. The Dukes go down in order in the second, courtesy of Caden Dale. No runs, no hits, nobody left on. Atlantic Cape exchanges the gloves for the bats. They're coming up next, Warner, Vega, and Suarez. A Greyhound bus of sorts. Well, a lot of traveling Atlantic City. Not sure that one's going to the casino, but that is the training grounds out in Bader Field, so I'm seen the boys in blue from the Atlantic City Police Department going through training exercises, and it would appear we got someone working on their CDL for a bus, perhaps. Well, John LeBerry goes back to work. First pitch, first swing from Warner, and a little hot to handle for Jasinski. That'll go in the books as the E6, and for the Buccaneers, they have a leadoff base runner aboard. So there is Trace Warner wearing number 3. It's Javi Vega. Had a nice game number 1, 1 for 3 on the day thus far. Vega pops one up. It's off the fist. Going to be a tough play. What an outstanding, absolute, phenomenal double play, courtesy of Rinnick. So Rinnick able to stick with it. You'll see it on the BFA Sports replay. It looked like it was going to be a no man's land. He just lays out, keeps his composure, looks over, and a good squeeze by Sanders. So you don't see that every day. 4-3 double play. First pitch fouled off by Suarez. That one fouled straight back. There's Davey Suarez. Atlantic Cape. 1-1 count here with 2 outs. Make that now 2-1. Want to thank our friends at the City of Atlantic City, giving us access to the press box. Mr. Ernie Corsi and the administration. City of Atlantic City. Been absolute awesome host these past few seasons here. Buccaneers baseball. Of course, all of us at BFA. I think I saw Ernie a little bit earlier for a brief moment. Not sure if he's still in the house or not, but this time of the year, lots of things going on in Atlantic City. Called, third strike. Nastiness at his best. Liberio, with some help from his defensive friends, gets him down in a unique 1-2-3 fashion. No runs, no hits, nobody left aboard. We go to the third in Atlantic City. Third inning about to be underway. Caden Dale, 20 pitches through the first 2 innings. He'll face Jack Peacock. Peacock hammers first pitch foul. Third base side out of play. Ethan Evans, the catcher, is on deck. As Peacock hits the ball hard. What a catch by Sari. Web gem, and he makes the finish. You're not going to see it played much better than that defensively at any level. Louis Sari flashing the leather to rob Peacock. Pick game is on point, and from his knees makes an outstanding play to retire Jack Peacock. Wow. Catcher Ethan Evans. Going to be hard for him taking this at bat after witnessing that crime. Dale winds and fires again. Hard rip ball, and that'll go in for a base hit to left for the catcher, Ethan Evans. Back to the top of the order as the second baseman, Christian Rennick, left-handed swinger. He'll look to pick up on the momentum. First pitch called strike. Checks the runner back. Not in time, of course. Drops a bunt, trying to move the runner, but it'll go foul. So good thought there, but couldn't get it down. Quickly now 0-2. Defensive swing by Rennick. Unfazed are the Buccaneers. So used to being in these awesome confines at Sandcastle Stadium. Didn't seem to bother them too much. Ball hit out to left field. It's going to go right at Vega. He'll make his way back for out number 2. Two outs. The catcher Evans at first. The shortstop Joe Jasinski singled in the first. Try to pick him up. Snap throw to 1. Evans back in time. Good heads up play by the catcher Gabe Solinsky. Another ball sky high, foul, and into the first base side stands. I mentioned the fine folks at City of Atlantic City. Really nice job on some called basic maintenance upkeep changes, and that throw goes down to second base, and a stolen base for the catcher Evans. So Evans, no hesitation, showing off some skills. Talking it over my producer, Ryan Schumacher. Called strike. course, a lot of talk about some future plans in the mix, perhaps, for Bader Field, and certainly part of this complex. See more to come there. Mayor Marty Small had announced some plans, and that ball is grounded over to third base, charging onto Suarez, and he makes another great play. A defensive gem of an inning for the Atlantic Cape Buccaneers. Started with Sari, finishes with Suarez, and more importantly, no runs on the board. So no runs, one hit, one runner left on. Atlantic Cape comes to the plate here on BFA. A fog-filled Atlantic City skyline. That is 3/4 of the Borgata and Harris buildings. Of course, beautiful confines here at Sandcastle Stadium. As we draw you into the bottom of the third, as Ethan Corsi going to get things started for the Buccaneers. Will be followed by Baldino and Foreman in this frame. Corsi, first pitch swing, pops it up. Second base side, underneath of it is Rinnick, and he'll make the squeeze. Second baseman Andrew Baldino, the alum from Absegami. He'll go to work after flying out with a well-hit ball to left field. His first at bat in the first. Oh, laser to the Duke dugout. Thankfully, that screen in front of the dugout is relatively new this season. And Baldino, chopper, it's going to be to Gazinski. And Jasinski, the 6-3 putout. First two batters retired in order by the Duke defense, as center fielder Kevin Foreman looks to ignite this crew. 2 outs. Good pitch, just missed on the inside. 2-0 as Foreman showing some patience early in this one. John Libiero. Oh, and Foreman turns on that one. Hit hard, but way foul. That was an absolute nuke. Liberio winds and fires. Swing and a miss. Big hack there by Kevin Foreman. 2-2. He is taking some heavy hacks. Ball goes straight up. Making underneath is Sanders. And they will retire Atlantic Cape in order. 1, 2, 3. No runs, no hits, nobody left on. We head to the 4th. Sandcastle Stadium in Atlantic City. Atlantic City, America's playground, and the site of today's doubleheader. Region 19 action. A little bit foggy for April. Kind of a eerie, sun is shining, but it's still foggy out near the water. Kind of unique. You don't see that every day. Starting things off, this frame for the Dukes, it'll be Mayors, Bain, and Apollonia on the scorecard scheduled to appear. Ball misses away. No. 2-0 to Mayors. I started to mention about the lots of great things going on out here in Atlantic City in the Bader Field area. You know, Mayor Marty Small had made an announcement about a more or less an F1 mini type of city. It's going to be built out here for many to enjoy. A bunch of different projects all combined into one. So, you know, stay tuned. More to come from that scene. But nonetheless, what a great piece of property out here in Atlantic City, and been very enjoyable for multiple seasons to be out here covering Atlantic Cape Buccaneer baseball. So Mayors makes his way down. On a 4-pitch walk. And an 0-1 pitch. Sorry. Going to make it to a 6-4-3 double play with his teammate Baldino over to Tanoco. Two up, two down as David Apollonia flew out to center field back in the second. Go to battle with Caden Dale here, 2 outs in the 4th. That ball fouled out of play, right side. There's a base knock. Could it be up the middle? Not with Sorry out at short. Good pick on the corner by Tanoco. Down they go. 1, 2, 3. The Atlantic Cape defense has continued to stay on point for this game. And there's a bang-bang play, but what an outstanding stretch by Tanoco to help out his teammate Sorry, and more importantly, his pitcher. So a combined 6 pitches gets 3 outs in the inning. We're going to head to the next frame. Atlantic Cape coming to bat already, bottom 4. We know that lots of activity is going on today here out in Atlantic City. And we also know that the shortstop, Louis Sari, brought his glove because he has pumped out some web gems. And here he swings hard in deep left field, going back to the wall and over the fence. It's a home run. Louis Sari with a solo shot to get us started in the 4th inning on a laser to left. Done it with the glove, and on cue, he breaks out the bat to put the Buccaneers on the board 1-0. What an absolute beautiful swing here on the BFA replay. Liberio left that over the plate, and Sari left no doubt about where it was going to land. First pitch, called strike to the catcher, Gabe Solinsky. Ball misses up. Quickly a 1-1 count to Solinsky. Solinsky now 2-2. Liberio seems quick to shake off the long ball. Ball foul back straight into the screen. There's a ball skied high, foul territory, plenty of room for Evans working his way around it, and it bounces off the mitt. So Solinsky, a fellow catcher, can relate how difficult that can be when you get spun around. And again, the wind blowing here in Atlantic City, as always, it's kind of blowing in from the right field foul pole across the field to the left, almost diagonal. So as that ball spun up, got Evans turned around a bit. Grounder foul. Third base side. And Buccaneers proud of their assistant coach. Actually, one of their teammates. It's like a Spirit of Halloween day, dressed as a coach. Swing and a miss. Liberio answers the bell with a strikeout. Long battle with Solinsky on an 8-pitch at bat. One out for the first baseman, Eduardo Tinoco. Comes inside, didn't miss Tinoco by much. Tinoco has been outstanding over at first base as well defensively, flashing the leather multiple times. That ball misses. Three straight pitches, three straight balls. Takes the free pitch. 3-1 now is the count to the first baseman. Tinoco will make his way down to first base with one out. And Trace Warner, the right fielder, reached on an error to short back in the second on a hard hit ball. Rocking out to some 80s music. Not quite sure where Buccaneers get their taste for music, but a few old souls on this team. This is in for a ball. Liberio winds and fires. Foul ball straight back. Evens the count out 1-1. I don't know now. I mean, we'll show it, I guess, between innings, but I don't know if you consider that fog or just low-level clouds at this point. Checks back the runner over at 1. Liberio delivers again. Ball trickles back towards first base. Gonna pick it up, no play. Swinging bunt as Sanders did a nice job charging, but Warner showing off the speed. Timeout is granted as the runners advance. It's first and second base with one out. The Buccaneers are in business, and see, you're looking at the Ocean Club. It's all shrouded. I don't know if it's clouds or fog, but as we kind of go along the skyline today, you'll see these pockets. So I don't know what to call it. I got to call Nor'easter Nick. What are we seeing here, Nick? Javi Vega is ahead now in the count 1-0. Now 2-0. Vega hit into a very unique 4-3 double play back in the second when Rinnick, with an outstanding diving catch, seen some phenomenal defense today, was able to double him up. Now 2-1. Can we shoot a video clip to our buddy Nor'easter Nick? Ask him what it is we're seeing. Is this fog or is it clouds? If I had to guess, he's going to tell me it's fog. Tell him to check us out on the BFA live stream. We get shown. Libiero settles in 3-1. Vega takes second strike for a full count. Things are getting a bit interesting. 1 out, 2 runners aboard. Full count to the left fielder, Javi Vega. And the Buccaneers have loaded the bases. Combination of power, finesse, and patience this inning. Stepping aside as he take the quick recap. Solo blast home run by Louis Sari started the frame. Swinging bunt single by Trace Warner and 2 walks to Tinoco and Vega have put us in this current 1-out scenario. Bases loaded as Davey Suarez, the third baseman, comes to the dish with the designated hitter Ethan Corsi on deck. Buccaneers trying to open this one up. That one fouled straight back into the concourse. Ball misses down. 1-1. Nice job defensively today by the catcher Ethan Evans behind the dish for Rowan College of South Jersey Cumberland. He had a nice base knock to left back in the first. A stolen base to boot. Making some good impressions. Where the legendary Cumberland Dukes catching coach from time to time, Tom Ryder, got to be pretty pumped up about that. Always refers to them not as catchers, but as receivers. But this is a young man that puts in the work, puts in the extra effort, and getting rewarded with some time today. There's a laser out to the straight center field. Bain's going to make the catch. Are they going to send the runner? Here comes the tag, the throw. They go to third. Everybody safe all around. So well executed base running as Tinoco scores on the sacrifice fly. Trace Warner slides into third. And now runners at the corners as Javi Vega is still over at first. But a nice sac fly RBI for Suarez stretches the lead 2-0 with 2 outs. Ethan Corsi try to add to the inning for Atlantic Cape. Checks the runner at first, nowhere to go. The Dukes trying to perhaps get the Buccaneers to tip their hand of what they're looking to accomplish with a first and third scenario. Ball misses down. Corsi ahead 1-0. Popped up to second base. Back in the third. Corsi flares one out towards high right field. Is it going to be inside the chalk? Foul ball. Boyer ran out of real estate, got very close to that fence. That could have been a big hit if it would have found some chalk. And they got themselves in a pickle. Here comes the throw, and they got him. Heads up play. They go for the pick at first. Sanders to Evans, and they catch Warner trying to score on a caught stealing. Interesting 1-3-2 play that you won't see every day in the books, but A 2-run rally of sorts for the Atlantic Cape Buccaneers as they now lead 2-0 as the Dukes will come to bat in the 5th. Top of the 5th, the Dukes trailing 2-0 as Andre Boyer flew out to right field back in the 2nd. Takes ball number 1 from Caden Dale. That breaking pitch hits for strike, now 1-1. Showing some patience, working to a 2-2 count. Make that 3-2. Caden Dale with 35 pitches through 4 innings unofficially. There's a hard hit ball into the gap. Boyer's going to be aboard with a single as Foreman will pick it up and get it back in to the infield. So a much needed positive start in this inning for the Cumberland Dukes. And home plate umpire Matt Lawler is charging Cumberland with a conference as Brian Sanders went back to the dugout to speak with another teammate. So each team is given 1 offensive conference per half inning, which now means that head coach Marco Carolla will not be able to officially stop the game for offensive purposes in this inning. Squares the bunt, he drops it. Here comes inside Solinsky, gets it over to Tanoco. Well executed by Brian Sanders on the sac bunt. Boyer moves into scoring position as Jack Peacock, the 3rd baseman, the pride of Williamstown, steps in. Peacock gets a shot through the right side. It's probably going to be enough to score. Boyer's got speed. Here comes the relay and the throw, and he's in at home safely. RBI single for Jack Peacock closes the gap 2-1. Nice piece of hitting the other way, and a great piece of base running and a read by Andre Boyer. Getting high fives, he heads back to the dugout. Peacock, always a great contact hitter, sprays the ball to all fields, and he gets it done there. Went with the pitch, and Buccaneer head coach Rodney Velarde gonna head out, have a conversation with starting pitcher Caden Dale, and it looks like we're gonna give up the baseball, so we're gonna have a pitching changes. Andrew Baldino is gonna get loose and come in relief. Seemed like Dale was moving pretty good, so I'm not sure if this is a bit more of strategy and matchups. Perhaps he had tweaked something, but this close contest, Game 3, mind you, the rubber match, where each team had taken one of the first 2 games. This one, from a Region 19 perspective, has a little bit more meaning in the potential standings long term when it comes to the playoffs. So Absegami's Andrew Baldino moves in from second base to pitch. And Caden Dale, on the mound at least, is done. Gave up 1 earned run, and he scattered 4 hits in 5 innings, and had 2 strikeouts in the books, only surrendering 1 walk. So good job there by Caden Dale to get his team in a position to perhaps pull this game out, game number 3, but obviously way too early to call. 2-1, and we're going to have a tying run inherited by Baldino over at first and Jack Peacock as play resumes. And for you weather fans, well, thanks to our buddy Nor'easter Nick, a.k.a. Nick Pittman, he responded to our ask about the difference between fog and clouds. His statement, all fog is low-lying clouds. So now you know. So we have low-lying clouds now. I'm going to call it out in right field as Baldino warms up. Sun shining brightly. Perhaps even Charles Hope is still somewhat warm down there. Let's not get crazy. All right, so Baldino, he's warmed up. Doesn't have a BFA hoodie on, though. Maybe we can get him one. All right, so he's going to take it to this next level, hopefully, as he faces the catcher Ethan Evans. Evans looks like he might have been squaring to bunt, perhaps. Of course, Brian Sanders already dropped the sacrifice bunt earlier in the inning to put Andre Boyer in scoring position. It was knocked in by Jack Peacock with the RBI single. Looks to bunt again, pulls it back, now 2-0. Peacock stretching out his lead a bit over at first. Ball's popped straight back. Now a 2-1 count. And Evans gets it down, goes right back to Baldino. He'll get it over to Tinoco. And 2 sack bunts in the inning for the Dukes. Put another runner in scoring position, and RCSJ Cumberland goes back to the top of the lineup. Christian Rinnick have an opportunity from the left side. There's a good look at Jack Peacock coming up clutch for the Dukes today. First pitch, low swing and miss. Of course, we've seen a lot of leather flashing in this game, and Rinnick came up with a Outstanding play of his own right as he dove in the infield, coming up with a double play in a big spot back in the second. Baldino ahead. 0-2. I'm actually kind of surprised that no one has said anything about Baldino's play sheet that's hanging from his belt in the pitcher's mound. I'm sure that'll come off between innings. That's a wild pitch. He's going to get away from him. Heads back towards home plate. Peacock thinks about rounding third, but now he's just 90 feet away as Rinnick has worked into a 1-2 count. One got away from Solinsky. Baldino has been pounding the bottom part of the zone, and when you're playing on a professional-sized field, as we are here at Sandcastle Stadium, there's a lot of room to roam behind the catcher. Baldino misses. Rinnick battles his way from 0-2 to 2-2. Baldino winds, fires, grounder, goes over to short. It's Sorry. Gonna go to Tinoco, and they get out of the jam. 6-3 put out ends the threat, but not before the Rowan College of South Jersey Cumberland Dukes answer back with 1 run on 2 hits and 1 runner left on. 2-1. So we had a bit of a change as number 14 comes to bat. So Matt Vega will bat here for the designated hitter, Ethan Corsi. Takes the first pitch for called strike. It still is John Liberio on the mound. For the Dukes. Officially had about 59 pitches before this inning started as Vega fouls the ball down the first base side. So Liberio, very efficient the first 3 innings. He's got a little long for him in the 4th. Going to try to dial it back in here again. Swing and a miss, and that's a good start as he strikes out Matt Vega. That'll bring us back to the top of the order. He started the game at second base, but now it'll be Andrew Baldino, your relief pitcher. Showing off the two-way player skills, perhaps. Little Shohei Ohtani impersonation. And he's going to wear that one. He'll jog down to first after getting hit. Kevin Foreman steps into the right-handed batter's box, batting in the 2-hole today. Checks the runner back at first. Not in time. Good-looking shot up there down the right side. I want to thank our BFA crew today. Brian Schumacher, the producer, the legend Charles Hope behind home plate, and legend in the making, Nick Penza over there on the first base side. So check back the runner again. Good look at Nick. And we've sent papers for our intern, Casper T. Ripod, to the HR department and see if we can take him out of intern status, make him a teammate officially, but still think he needs a few more games under his belt before that happens. As Liberio winds and fires. .1-0 pitch to Kevin Foreman. Check the runner back at first again. Runner goes. Foreman fakes the bunt. Throw from Evans goes down. Not in time. And a swipe bag for Andrew Ohtani Baldino. Foreman now ahead 2-0, runner in scoring position, 1 out. Louis Sari is on deck. Gabe Selinsky is in the hole for the Buccaneers. Now the 2-1 pitch to Kevin Foreman. Foreman, chopper, third base side, going to gather his peacock. He'll get the out, his former teammate at St. Augustine. Baldino, with 2 outs, is now 90 feet away, tacking on another Buccaneer run as Louis Sari homered back in the 4th, 1 for 1 in this contest. Of course, his glove has been on fire. First pitch to Sari is taken for a ball. Always difficult at bat for any player after your last one landed over the fence. What can you do for an encore? Barrio seems not to be interested in throwing him any fastballs at this point, as he starts with 2 hanging curves to start this sequence. .2-0 pitch in the dirt. A good stop by Ethan Evans. Now you gotta wonder. 3-0, 2 outs. Coach Rodney Velarde gives Sari a green light. About to find out. Liberio settles. And not close. Ball 4. And Sari draws the walk on 4 straight pitches. Be runners at the corners. Still no action down in the Duke bullpen. This appears to be Liberio's game. Selinsky, the catcher, wearer number 24. He's 0 for 1. Struck out in the 4th, walked back in the 1st. Got runners at the corners. Hammers the ball towards right field, but it's going to be right at Andre Boyer. And crisis averted for Cumberland as the Bucks unable to cash in some of those chips. No runs, no hits, 2 men left on. 2-1 as Rowan College of South Jersey Cumberland comes up in the 6th. Andrew Baldino stepped in relief in the last frame. He comes back out for the top of the 6th. The Dukes will send Jasinski, Mayers, and Bain to the plate. That's a high, popped up ball in the infield. Calling is the third baseman, Suarez. It's 1 pitch, 1 out. The designated hitter, Ben Mayers, popped up to short and walked back in the 4th. Pitch to Mayer, misses for a ball. Quickly now 2-0 to Mayers. 2-1. Baldino looking pretty comfortable trying to work the outside half of the plate. Battles back to make it a 2-2 count as he stares to his catcher, Selinsky. Kicks and fires. Bears. Hard grounder, going to be right at the second baseman. Able to funnel and throw is number 14, and that'll be Matt Vega. So the Buccaneers pretty fired up about that one. I had to double check as Baldino was the last guy I had over at second base. So the 4-3 put out. 2 outs. Christian Bain has hit the ball hard both at bats. He hit into a double play back in the 4th. Quickly a 1-1 count. Next home game coming up for the Buccaneers will be on Friday. They take on the Cougars of Camden. Coach John Scanzano brings his team to town. I believe he's probably watching right now, getting a little advanced scouting in if I knew any better. Now 1-2 count to the center fielder Bain. That's a single game on Friday. With a 3:30 start time. There's a called strike 3. So Bain left holding the bat, and Baldino puts him down in order. 1, 2, 3, no runs, no hits, nobody left on. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Atlantic Cape come to bat here in Atlantic City. Here we go in the bottom of the 6th as Solinsky, Tinoco, and Warner get things going. Swing and a miss, evens the count at 1-1. Quickly now 1-2. Now evens the count at 2-2. Solinsky works his way into a full count against Liberio. Good work by Liberio, fielding his position for the 1-3 put out. And looks like Tinoco kind of taking his time. Perhaps he rolled one of his ankles there. Liberio unofficially had him at 77 pitches through 5 innings. Trace Warner now comes to the plate. And there's a hard liner, but it's going to be right at Jasinski. And as I was following along, that was Tinoco, who was retired. I think I was calling him Solinsky, so my apologies to Tinoco. It's Trace Warner. It's sacked with the line out to Jasinski over at short. Quickly, it'll bring up the left fielder, Javi Vega. Called strike. Swings through. Now 0-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. So Liberio able to answer back and keep the Buccaneers within reach. 2-1 as we head to the final frame for the Dukes. Coming up in the 7th, it'll be Apollonia, Boyer, and Sanders. Don't go anywhere. Another fantastic Region 19 game is coming in for a landing. Beautiful look at the Atlantic City skyline. Couldn't see that earlier in the day. As you look at the Hard Rock and, of course, the Claridge. Friend Brian DeWinnie and his crew over at the Claridge. What an awesome place to spend a weekend. All this fun in Atlantic City. We're in the 7th inning, and a good one. 2-1. The Buccaneers with Andrew Baldino in relief, trying to hang on. And we're going to start off with a pinch hitter, and that's going to be Casey Vaughn. Just swings through first pitch. Strike number 1. Now 1-1. Now 1-2. This is down 2-2. Swing and a miss. A big out as he gets Casey swinging. So now 1 out. Andre Boyer try to climb aboard and put Cumberland in a position to perhaps tie the game. Boyer fouls one off, third base side. Down 0-1. Boyer singled and scored a run in his last at bat. It was a seed to left center. Later came around courtesy of a Jack Peacock RBI. Baldino misses away. Now 1-1. Ball's chopped foul. Now 1-2 to Boyer. Boyer fouls it up. Right side and back into the seats of the Sandcastle. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back Ks for Baldino. And now with 2 outs, it's going to come down to the first baseman, Brian Sanders, to try to keep this game going. First pitch, swing and a miss. Baldino continues to pepper the outer half of the plate. Count now at 1-1. Hard hit ball, third base side, knocking it down as Suarez. He reaches for first. Tinoco makes the squeeze, and the Buccaneer defense holds. They secure a victory and take both games here from the Dukes of Cumberland. Outstanding display of baseball. Very entertaining for all fans. And wow, what a way to end it. No surprise here, but Andrew Baldino comes in the 5th. He's going to get the save on basically a 2 1/3 setup in relief. Nice job there, and Caden Dale will get the decision and the win as he was extremely efficient. But the defense was absolutely phenomenal for both squads this afternoon. And a big shout out to Louis Sari, who had a solo blast back in the 4th that set the stage for a big inning, finished off by a sacrifice fly RBI, which ended up being the game winner, courtesy of Davey Suarez. Well, for all of us here at BFA Sports, want to thank the Atlantic Cape Community College Administration for having us as your home of Buccaneer baseball. Tip of the cap to Coach Rodney Velarde and Athletic Director Jamal Edwards, along with Assistant AD Mrs. Marsha Lasasso. For the entire BFA crew, our producers Ryan Schumacher, the legend Charles Hope on camera behind home plate. Legend in the making, Nick Penza, is out at third base. Our intern, Casper T. Rypod. I'm Doug Stasic, and we can't wait till next time to see you play ball.